They talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness. They talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness. They talking all of this madness.
What's up, everybody? You are watching, you are listening to the Matt Madness Network live on YouTube. I'm your host for tonight, Alo Aaron Lloyd. Thank you. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. God, where is my shit? God damn it. God damn it. Where's my applause button?
Look,
we got to a bad start already. Here, thank you. Here we go. Here's my applause button. There we go.
You know why it didn't work?
Why?
Undersold yourself.
Did I? For the weekend?
Mr. Mexico himself. The honorable, the humble Aaron Alo Lloyd. The groom. The no more bachelor. Mr. 15 years himself.
Hold on. All right, so that's enough. That's enough. All right, so if you were under a rock, over the weekend, me and 30 people, they all came to Mexico to watch me and Angel get married. So I'm glad everybody had an excellent time.
And watch Leah dance.
And watch Leah. Leah stole the show. She really did. It was a great weekend. I said this to everybody, and I'm saying it to you guys again on stream if anybody's watching. But it was one of my favorite things was a lot of these people, they only see each other for maybe 2-3 hours at a time, once a year, if that. So the fact that they get to spend days together, blend and build relationships and have fun together and had their own meetups was something that was really beautiful for me to see. And I enjoyed everybody blending together and having a great time. Pictures are starting to slowly come in. That boat got me good. I feel like the boat was like, it captured the weekend for me personally because they got some good shots. They got some good shots.
Special.
They got some good shots. It was a beautiful weekend. I couldn't ask for
special.
Yeah, I couldn't ask for a better wedding weekend. It was really great. So
one of the last pictures is a dope picture of James. I sent it to him, and he's like, "I don't know if I want to go back more, if I just want to be on the boat."
So the best part was the very last picture was me.
Yeah,
which was fitting, and I think James was like, if not the second to last, it was the third to last. But I know I was the last picture on that camera roll, and my God, it's the perfect way to end the camera roll. And they were on it, those camera people. But thank you again for everybody who attended and took times out of their lives to spend time with me and Angel, and we really definitely do appreciate it. We continue to put everybody over in the WhatsApp group chat about it and keep influxing, throwing in pictures and things like that. So we all had a great time. So while we were away, we had Elimination Chamber happen. I thought it was a fine show, better than what WWE has been doing over the last few weeks and months. So have you been watching anything? Because me haven't been here for a while. Work sucked. This wedding stuff has took up a lot of my time, so I haven't been able to stream, even though I was prepared to stream a lot of times, but I wasn't able to. So what have you been watching?
So I was definitely sick for like 2 weeks. I think I watched Raw regularly, but I think I ended up missing every Dynamite. And I was skimming through SmackDowns. Nothing overly new. Some of like the new WWE podcasts, some of the, what do you want to talk about with Cody? The not necessarily watched, but I've listened to a couple of Chris Van Veet's, pretty much all of his weekly podcast episodes or an insight for the last couple of weeks. That would be the most noteworthy thing that I've been up to date with.
Yeah, for me, I haven't really watched much. During our hiatus, I did watch season 2 of Unreal. Something felt off compared to season 1 for me, but I did enjoy watching it. The thing that kind of like made me pop the most there was two things, like the whole Michael P.S. Hayes thing, the whole outrage with his comments about Chelsea Green. I didn't go live about it, but I did make a video about it because I think people kind of blew it out of proportion. But the one thing I really did enjoy was the R-Truth episode and watching like Road Dogg talk about how much he loved R-Truth and
showing his bias.
And like I remember, like that tag team lasted like a month and a half, and I swear they put every piece of footage they had in that month and a half. And like I remember that episode of Sunday Night Heat, because I'm not sure if you remember, but Sunday Night Heat, they used to have it like there'll be a superstar would host it at WWF New York, and Road Dogg was the host that week, and then K Quick / R-Truth came in, and he came into his locker room and said, and I guess he was trying to like recruit him, whatever, and then that's where they performed Rowdy for the first time.
So the funny thing is, with the era of Road Dogg and K Quick tagging, I might have saw one match, and all my other K Quick stuff would have been like Sunday Night Heat matches, and I think like his very few inclusions in the invasion angle, because that run as a tag team in 2000, I think I was banned from watching wrestling from my father at the time.
Yeah, so
I missed that live.
So that Sunday Night Heat episode, it was the week before Survivor Series. And the next night, Road Dogg would face William Regal for the European title. And he cost him the European title. And he came out and said, I forgot the first part he said, but he's like, it's time to start rapping. And then that's what he did Rowdy again following the night after Sunday Night Heat. And then that's where Road Dogg and K Quick, they would team up with Billy Gunn and China at the Survivor Series. And then Road Dogg gets released like in January.
So wait, Survivor Series 2000, if I go back watch it, there's a 4-match K Quick, Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, and China versus 4 others.
The Radicals. They faced the Radicals. Yeah. And then the next month they challenge in a 4-way for the tag titles at Armageddon. And then after that, Road Dogg's pretty much released. And then like I remember like watching Road Dogg K Quick come out in the Rumble. We had a new version of Rowdy. And then where the Music Volume 5 came out, it's his version of Rowdy. What is this? Where's Road Dogg? Like this is when I'm like 9. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Like what's going on? Road Dogg's fired? What are we talking about? With Road Dogg? And then after that, he's relegated to Heat and Metal or Jack, whatever you have in your area.
You've seen the meme about the 01 Rumble pay-per-view?
Which meme?
I guess it's the poster. And I always forget K Quick's in the poster, and it says K Quick is the only active wrestler. Now, if Jericho's in it, but obviously he's in limbo right now. But he's like, K Quick is the only active wrestler still from the 2001 Royal Rumble poster.
Yeah, so that was probably the highlight of what I watched while we were away. So I guess we'll get started here. So while we were away, a lot of things happened. One thing that I really wanted to just like bash this like 2 weeks ago, but I didn't have the time. And from my research right now, it seems like things are a bit better, but we'll start here. So WrestleMania 42 recently had struggling ticket sales, and WWE, they seem to have put a 25% discount off on the tickets, and it seemingly worked. But mind you, as I said, this was about 2-3 weeks ago when they started to do this. And at the current moment in time, I'll share my screen here, that the tickets seem to be actually doing a lot better than what they were. Right from right here, you will see that a nosebleed ticket is still pretty high. We got it $228.35. If you want, let me see here, section 128 seat. Jesus Christ. My computer, bear with me here. See, this thing got a mind of its own, as I told you. All right, so we have a section 128, row 19, $292. So tickets they've seen to lower these prices on these seats because these seats were around $700 plus, and fans were not happy. Tickets were not moving, and WWE wasn't doing anything to actually help these tickets actually move themselves. So, with that being said, what are your thoughts on the past struggling ticket sales, and what do you think some of the reasons why that the tickets struggled so badly? Did I lose you? I think I lost some guys. So while Eric reconnects, I'll give my opinion on why things were moving slowly. WWE as a whole, I don't think they did themselves any favors in the last few months. I think that everything has been pretty much boring for the most part. They haven't done anything to build any anticipation when it comes to anything. Nothing has stuck. Storytelling has not been the greatest at all. We've been like hammered in like the Cody and Drew thing. We don't want to see that anymore. Drew McIntyre is somebody we've championed over the last few years, but the fact that you were going to the direction of Cody and Drew again, nobody wants to see that. And I think a lot of people can actually see that coming a mile away. What else we had going on? From like CM Punk and Roman Reigns, that's the only thing that the company actually had to actually pretty much sell this. That the company actually was able to actually sell this entire show. And there was nothing else for us to really grasp our teeth, sink our teeth into. There's nothing that anybody wanted to see. Like where we were going. Like, for example, Bianca Belair, she's not going to be medically cleared. We'll get to that in a little bit because we were, especially on this show, we were completely anticipating Jade versus Bianca, but Bianca's not going to be there. So we weren't sure where that was going. Plus, Jade's title reign has been very mediocre, and it seems that's been very mediocre because the whole Bianca Belair thing was up in limbo. That's what it seems from there. Mid card, Dom has been great, but he was hurt for a while, so we didn't really know what was going on. We didn't really know what was going on with that. We love Carmelo Hayes, but Carmelo Hayes doesn't have a bunch of stuff going on right now. Gunther just had the run of his career. It took out John Cena and it took out AJ Styles. Still question marks when it comes to him. And they haven't done anything or positioned themselves to have anybody look forward to anything. And everything hasn't been good. It just hasn't. So, like, nobody had any interest on going to Vegas to see Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes again. Nobody had any interest in seeing that. And also, the whole entire point of Vegas coming around again is people, they make yearly trips of WrestleMania, no matter where it is. But a lot of times, WrestleMania, like, people don't want to go to the same place again. It's like, all right, I'll go, but really again, like WrestleMania in Vegas again, not my thing. And then also the issue with WWE is not in WWE, TKO's gotten so money hungry that they saw the success that WrestleMania had in Vegas last year. It's like, all right, we'll take it from New Orleans and try to replicate it. But the main thing that we've always heard from WWE executives is that how hard it is to actually sell a show in Vegas because there's always so much going on. Like you talked about, also WWE, they even moved the start time for WrestleMania to try to get people out earlier and things like that. So there's plenty of things that make WrestleMania 42 for a second year a hard sell. Vegas is not an easy town to sell, especially with wrestling. There's so much else things going on. And also, I talked about these prices. These prices were astronomically high. Vince McMahon would never do this and had those prices for anybody. He wouldn't have. TKO, they saw the success, and I can't knock them. It's a business. They got greedy. They wanted to try to replicate the success that they had the previous year, but it doesn't seem like they're going to replicate that same success this year. And we don't have to have that issue because next year WrestleMania will be in Saudi Arabia, so we will not have that issue. And actually, we might have a whole nother issue because I'm curious to see how many people will make that yearly vacation trip to WrestleMania out in Saudi Arabia. But WWE, they have a tough. Like, I think they're in a better position now because the reports also saying, and you also see it, that they're making a bunch of switches to the actual card, and things are going to get better from looking forward, and we're going to get to that as well. But as I said before, it's a hard sell to sell WrestleMania at this point in time because what's been going on has not been the greatest to watch. Nobody really wants to actually see it. And we got Drew McIntyre. It looks like he's going to drop the title. We'll get to that in a little bit. He's going to end up facing Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania. That's something that's a good swerve to get something else because we can actually get something else going here, it would go from there. I think I got Eric back. You there?
Yeah, I don't know. I heard you the whole time. I don't know. It just cut me out. Give me 1 second.
All right.
I think I got this all fixed up now.
All right. So give me your thoughts on some reasons why you think WrestleMania was struggling.
I love Jade more than most people love her, but mediocre title run is the biggest understatement you said on the show in 10 years. She's been the champion for 99 days and has defended the title one time. I think she's had one other match, and it was a non-title match, maybe a squash. Actually, she might have had 3 matches, but yeah, the whole thing with Mania, ticket prices are definitely got to be the start of it. I mean, everyone says the thing about Vince would never. Prices started going up under the Vince era. If you remember from when we were at 34, from the next year to New York, there was a huge price increase. 36.
That was the COVID.
36 COVID. 37. I can't remember, but there's also I saw there's like from 35 to now, the prices have just went up and up and up. So 38, you guys still put that under events, and then obviously 39 until now have been what they have been, but the price has just been going up. As much as it's hard to go back and forth to the same city 2 years in a row, I think like someone like you and I who've been to Mania in New Orleans, like I wasn't planning to go to another Mania after we were just there 2 years ago, but I was like, well, New Orleans, is going to be affordable to an extent, obviously much more affordable than going to Vegas or Saudi. So I was considering it, and I know there was a lot of people. There's reports of there's a lot of people that got their room and accommodations for a New Orleans WrestleMania for WrestleMania weekend. And then the random back out just due to TKO or whatever else there is to do with it. That's been lackluster. Obviously, injuries right now have been, you talk about Diamond when we bring up the mid card and the IC title, but everything that's been going through with the Vision has obviously been beyond cursed. It's kind of, I mean, if it was Vince, he would have scrapped the storyline by now.
Oh yeah, for sure. But there was still hope with
and Roman and Punk would be tag team champions.
That part is true. That part is true. I'll give you that. They would be tag team champions. All right. So, got any other reasons? Because, like I said, like it's really tough. Because I also said that I think that we knew nothing. We didn't know anything that was going on with Bianca. I think they were still trying to figure out what's going on with Bianca. Because me and we've been on this boat of Bianca and Jade are going to be the women's match.
It's going to be marquee
since last year.
I mean, I'm excited for Jade versus Rhea. I think it's one of those things, and it's like a mixed bag. Maybe I'm trying to be that fan that doesn't complain too much, but like when somebody's like, "Oh man, you can't even tell what's going to happen in Mania." Well, we still have Elimination Chamber. We still have this. We still have that. Like, and I don't know. Maybe I'm naive, but like 8 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, after the Royal Rumble, we did not know what the full Mania card was going to be. You let the show play out. But I think at the end of the day, the two big things really, I think obviously storyline would be like a third thing, but same venue, same city, 2 years back to back. And more importantly than anything, the price is too overpriced. And then if they're I feel bad for everybody that bought them originally, and now they're 25% off. Imagine how pissed all these people are.
Yeah, absolutely. So
and there's definitely a chance when we're 4 weeks away, their price could go and give a bigger discount sooner than later.
Yeah,
that spreadsheet you just showed a lot of empty seats.
Yeah, but it's way more tickets were bought. There have been way more tickets bought since. Because I remember looking at this a few weeks ago, and it was still blue. There was a bunch of available seats because it was bad. And like I said, there was nothing for anybody wanted to see. I said that nobody wanted to see Drew and Cody again because that was the direction
for
that
sure.
they were clearly going.
You don't want to see
knew
you don't want to see COVID Drew and Orton?
No, as much as I love Drew, I don't want to see him in that position either because they haven't done anything to position him in that way. But this is the one. We'll get to the one thing that we all can guarantee, and this might be worth the price of admission. Roman Reigns and CM Punk, the match that had to happen. Punk, Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble while we were away. He had that incredible promo with CM Punk the night after, and he makes his first return since that night. And they have that even more epic promo where Punk says that I'm going to bury you next to your father. And Roman Reigns says, I'm going to send you on a retirement tour at NXT to be a trainer. So what are your thoughts on this match? Because we have not talked about this. What are your thoughts on your match, and what are you looking forward the most about this?
I'm looking forward to everything that has to come with it. This past Monday, the promo was phenomenal. The real life jabs. I mean, it's funny. Like Kelly was watching the segment, and she's like, "I'm confused. They really do like each other, right?" I was like, "Wow, I really like Punk when he's in like a good storyline like this. You never really know if they like him or not." Like I was like, when it comes to people like Roman and Seth, Eddie and MJF, I don't know. I kind of think they all might actually dislike him. If not, they do a good job of covering it. I mean, the opening line, like right away, where like they brought up the tweet, and Roman was like, "Oh man, you need thicker skin. My tweet offended you." And he's like, "No, I'm not like you. I don't let what people say, or in a tweet or a podcast, I don't hold grudges." Whereas, famously known that Roman has an issue with what Punk said about him on a podcast with his old buddy Cole Cabana many, many, many moons ago. So I'm looking forward to the match. I'm looking forward to Punk getting a night 2 main event at Mania. It's exciting. I mean, the next couple promos are gonna be fire.
Yeah. So this entire thing's been awesome. The only nitpick I have is the fact that Roman goes away, and Punk did acknowledge that, which I really did appreciate.
Well, he kind of did. What I really liked is the whole initial interruption. Roman just comes out there and says, "Acknowledge me." He comes out, interrupts him, and says, "I'm sorry. I hope you got more to say than that, because if we're paying you all this money to make an appearance, you could have just made that a tweet."
So good.
So good.
So good. The back and forth between these guys has been fantastic. It's been what everybody has wanted out of this. And I'm not sure where I would go here because, with Roman's limited schedule, we've complained about our champions not being on TV over the last few years. And Roman with a limited schedule, will we hardly see the championship on television? We pick up more dates. But CM Punk needed this as well because his last few feuds, they've been fine, but they haven't had the marquee name that you actually fear he's going to lose. Like the thing with Finn Balor, I thought was interesting. Before then, he had matches. Yeah, he had the thing with Braun Breaker, but we know Braun Breaker isn't quite ready yet, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But CM Punk and Roman Reigns, this is the match that needed to happen, and this match is definitely worth the price of admission. And like I said, I have no idea who I would actually go with here. And it's also a good follow-up because of last year in the triple threat, and now we just have these guys 2-on-2 for the richest prize in the game going on at WrestleMania. So I'm looking forward to this as well. What are some things that you want to see out of this?
On the road to it, I'd like them to get physical on the road. If they're going to keep making these digs, it's going to get personal. Somebody has to swing. That was one of the gripes always with the Roman Brock matches. They would get in each other's face or have a tug of war. I'd like these two to get physical. I'd like this to go somewhere, and I just hope the match delivers. The triple threat was phenomenal last year. They don't got to go out there for 30 minutes. They don't got to go out there for 25 minutes. I mean, I think we get north of 15 minutes and under 20, and they can just go and have a good one. I mean, if their match is as good as any of Punk's matches with Finn, that's a job well done.
So there was some speculation because probably people internet looking too much into this of a mysterious figure in the background of CM Punk's backstage walk to the entranceway of somebody backstage. Do you think that will actually lead to anything?
I didn't pick up on that, and I didn't see anybody speculating.
So it might have went away, but Saturday night, Punk's backstage. He's like, they played the Chicago Bulls entrance of him, and then the internet, they took a screenshot of somebody in the background. There's nobody else around. People were speculating, like, who is that? It's a bigger guy. It's probably nobody. We know Punk's not going back to Paul Heyman. But
my only issue with that was done a little weirdly different. Now, obviously, I know there are people working in these arenas that work for the arena. I didn't like how while he did that walk, it's one of the main events. It's the championship match for the show. And there's all these people that are just paying this guy no mind, this champion that's in this arena who's about to walk out to the ring. They're not looking at him. They're not applauding. They're not staring at him. People are writing stuff on the paper, not looking around. So maybe I was too distracted by that where I didn't catch it, but I'll go back and rewatch that. If that's to happen, I don't know. Are you alluding to a potential turn on Punk's side?
Yeah, something about Punk. Something because Roman Reigns, this is arguably, since he's been back, this is probably going to be his biggest opponent yet. And what will he do to win this match?
For Punk. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, it was a bigger individual.
So what do you think? Is Chris Hero taking his Shield spot?
That'd be fun. But I'm enjoying this. I can't wait to see what else we get. You already know that if you said it earlier that they would be tag team champions. My hope is we get a tag team match out of this because, or something, just some more interaction where they kind of forced to work together. But some kind of physical.
Now, obviously,
is needed.
Obviously, we know that he's going to be doing some type of training and everything. I would hope Roman on Raw could have an exhibition match or two. I don't know what. He was in the chamber, comes back for the Royal Rumble, wins the Rumble, goes to Mania. I mean, he really is on a Brock schedule.
We had Randy Orton win the match, and he will now challenge the WWE champion at WrestleMania. So, also in that match, we had Drew McIntyre interfere, and Drew McIntyre kind of helped Randy Orton win the Elimination Chamber, costing Cody the match. And Nick Aldis comes out and says Drew McIntyre will defend the WWE Championship with Cody Rhodes this Friday night on SmackDown. So, Bestie, take this first.
Because you know where I'm going to go.
Yeah, I think we're all going to be in agreement here that McIntyre is dropping the title here to Cody.
Look, I'll fantasy book this because we've all expected Cody at some point when he returned 4 years ago at 38, he was going to face Randy. There's obviously built-in history and everything. WWE Championship on the line, like you just said. For the world title is the richest prize in the business right now. Roman versus Punk. I don't give a fuck what Roman or what Randy and Punk are gonna do. They could kiss and make out for all I care. Drew McIntyre, about to be former 3-time WWE champion, is about to face a former 2-time NWA champion at WrestleMania, and I can't wait.
Wait, say that one more time.
Drew's gonna lose the title, and then he's gonna face Nick Aldis.
That's what you think's gonna happen?
Look, what else? What other storyline is there for him to do? He's already had matches with Jacob. What is it going to be? Him and Jacob. If you watch the segments, and I could be making too much of this, but Nick has been getting thoroughly emotional in these spots, and they've been getting very hostile. A lot of profanity between the two. Yeah, that's my early hot take prediction. Drops the title, Drew's going to attack Nick. And then that's how we're going to get Nick in the ring.
So I think that we're getting Drew and Jacob because that whole attack backstage thing that has not gotten 100% rectified yet. But Cody versus Randy, that's the match that we want to see. Now, granted, we got it at King of the Ring, or not at Champions, where Cody became the King of the Ring. But this is something that we need, something that could, because we haven't gotten a full Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes thing. We have not dug back into the legacy days, and we have not dug into that footage. We haven't dug into any of that. And Randy Orton, somebody who's been on the sideline for a long time over the last couple of years, not because of injury, but just because they had nothing really for him. And this is something that Randy Orton can really sink his teeth into in here. And even though I do think Randy Orton will turn out to be the heel in the situation, but the interesting thing is I don't think anybody is necessarily going to boo Randy Orton because Cody has been so dry over the last almost year, and I think the crowd will end up turning on Cody and it'll be all on the side of Randy Orton. What do you think?
I agree. So do you think within a 1 month time spell, we 1 month time span, we see Cody get his third WWE Championship reign, and Randy goes on to become 15-time champion?
That's the interesting part. Does Randy win? I think you give it to Randy. Randy needs something.
Think so.
I think you give it to Randy here.
The amount of losses he's had over the past 4 years, yeah, I think so.
Now, granted,
who the hell saw him winning the Chamber?
I didn't either. We all thought it was Cody, but Cody is still going to end up being in the main event regardless. But the thing is, with Randy here, if you give Randy the belt, how long does Randy hold it? And is it just something to give back to Cody?
I think I don't foresee them necessarily going this route, but if they play it like a tweener role, or if Orton stays face, Orton could always hold it for a little bit, and then some heel on SmackDown. Trick Williams, shit. I mean, maybe too soon, but why not?
Yeah, because the interesting thing with that is, it's like John Cena said this in a recent interview. Like WWE's in a weird position as they were like in 03 to 05 trying to find the next guy. And Cody, we're getting Cody fatigue at this point because he's been WWE champion for so long. And then we have Roman Reigns talk about nobody's really grabbed the ball and went with it, or grabbed the brass ring, whatever they call it, since he was gone. So it's like, all right, it's my time again. And nobody has been elevated to that position. And that's the issue here, because like we looked at the WrestleMania poster a few months back, and everybody's like, what, 40, 42 and up in that picture. Nobody is less than 35 in that picture. There's no next face of the company right now, and that's a major issue, because it's like, all right, who's going to be the next guy? Who's going to be the next guy that you can actually sell here as the face of the company? But I do think Cody will win the championship from Drew on Friday night. And as of now, I'll pencil in Randy Orton as my winner. And I do think Randy Orton will go on Tony, because this could be really good. As I said, you could dig into that legacy things, the stuff with Cody's dad and things like that. There's a lot to dig into that they have not
all the roads.
Yeah, because this is the one thing they have not dug into since Cody's been back. It's his history with Randy. Other than that match to be the king of the ring, they have not had a one-on-one singles match. And this is really going to be good, especially if Randy Orton is the heel in this situation, which I think he will, because you can't trust the Viper. All right. So also Elimination Chamber, the other Elimination Chamber winner was Rhea Ripley. And we talked about this early in the show. Me and you were talking about Jade versus Bianca was going to be the WrestleMania women's match for the title, but Bianca just finally got finger surgery, and it's clear that she will not be involved at WrestleMania. So Charlotte Flair was not qualified for the match, which was shocking. I was glad Kiana James got into that match. I thought she had a good showing while she was in there.
Great showing.
As well as
Raquel, yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, as well as Raquel Rodriguez in that match. But we got Rhea Ripley here. And immediately after the match, we had a Twitter exchange between the two. And it was interesting to see. So Rhea Ripley says, all you seem to do is talk. And that's literally it. Talk. Well, Jade replies, talk like the hours you spend talking to creative. Rhea replies, you're funny. That's funny. Now we know you really do be talking out your ass because everything you say is BS. Don't spread lies on my name, you dumb B. And Jade responds, hit dogs will holler. Now, Jade also did get into it with Chelsea Green and Piper Niven as well on Twitter. And it's interesting to see this because we've seen a lot of Jade over the last 5 years, actually 6 years. And also last year, it came out a rumor that her and Bianca never got along. And when you come to think about it, you don't really see Jade interact with a lot of the women.
A lot of those the guys.
Yeah, a lot of women she works with. And not to say there's something wrong with that, because it's fine just doing your job and grabbing your lunchbox and going home. It's fine there's nothing wrong with that. But do you think Jade really has do you think Jade really has heat backstage with the women in the locker room?
I think it's definitely a work. Like, even when she had and I don't buy that her and Bianca didn't really get along, because when she had all that heat going on with Naomi on screen, she's commenting, congratulating her on the pregnancy, like in the middle of like everything going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I mean, I think that shows, like, I think, Jade has her girls, I think.
Yeah, because like I said, like when those tweets came out, it's like, huh? Like, not even specifically at Rhea. It was like the interaction with Chelsea. Chelsea's like, Chelsea's like the next Natty. There's nobody who hates Chelsea.
Yeah.
At this point. And like I said, like even like anybody, you said it yourself. Anytime you see Jade, it's with the guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot which article that I was reading. It was seeming that somebody said that Jade kind of like feels. I forgot exactly what it said, but it was like somebody like the women try to help her or whatever, but she might feel some insecure or something about the work something along those lines. But it's very interesting to actually hear that, and I'm looking forward to the match. I think it's interesting. I think it's something that kind of came out of left field, because I think we were all expecting Charlotte to win here, because we thought Charlotte could probably get the best match out of her. But I'm not mad about Rhea either. But if I had a preference,
both younger
would be Charlotte. Because I thought the Charlotte thing.
I do like the stat. Rhea straight on I think it's either her seventh or eighth Mania, and every year she's in a championship match. I mean, you can call that whatever it is, but I think that's talent being talent.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Rhea's one of the best in the business, hands down, period. Now, the reason I thought it would have been Charlotte, I'm not mad they did the swerve, is because Charlotte had that thing with Alexa, and Alexa could have like cost Charlotte the title, because I do think Alexa will be the one to turn heel in that situation. So you can kind of like kill two birds with one stone in that match. But I understand why I didn't do it, because could Alexa do that in the match? Yes, but I don't think it's needed. But I am looking forward to a Charlotte and Jade match down the road, because
it's been teased since she showed up.
Yeah, since day one. And I don't think they've had really any physical interaction ever since then.
If so, it was just in a Rumble. But there's been a couple like entrances, like
it's all entrances.
Yeah,
and it's something that just seeing them stand toe to toe is something that was like, oh man, that's money right there.
Yeah,
that is money right there. But at this moment in time, I'm not mad about Rhea. I think Rhea with a great match out of Jade, and Jade needs this because you talked about it. Jade's been a champion for over 100 days, had one championship match. It seems WWE is banking with the whole Bianca thing, but that didn't actually happen. And Jade's title reign had to pretty much suffer from it. But I'm looking forward to the match and see what else we get here because we still haven't gotten them face to face yet. And I'm looking forward to it. You got anything else? Any other thoughts about this?
No, I think that match is gonna be fire. I'm waiting to see what they do. Not without Twitter fingers. Let's see that in-ring promo. Not looking forward to like the Michael Cole sit down, but I want an in-ring promo.
All right, going now to the Royal Rumble winner. We had Liv Morgan. She finally, Liv Morgan, top five
DOA.
Lord have mercy.
All right, that's for prep. So Liv Morgan, she finally made her decision last week. She chooses Stephanie Vaquer as her opponent for WrestleMania, and she cut a promo last week. And some of the things that she said was, "I've been with the company since I was 20. You would turn away in your first tryout, and the privilege, and then being in a match with me at WrestleMania is going to be the privilege of your life." So far, what are your thoughts on this whole Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer storyline?
I think it's good. I think the match will be really good. I think each one of them is going to bring something really good out of each other. I think they should clash real well. What do you think about a small chance of Dom turning on her and going with Stephanie?
I don't think that's going to happen at all.
No.
Judgment
Day is about to crumble.
We'll get to that in a little bit, because we've been talking about that for 2 years about the crumbling, but they always seem to keep it together and be the most intriguing thing. So for me,
I've been going on 6 years. Jeez, how that group is.
Is this 5? Is it 5? 5? No. 4. Since 22.
Oh yeah, jeez, I can't count.
Yeah, since 22. But there've been so many iterations of it, so it feels like it's been like 6. But the one thing I have enjoyed about this is because the knocking of Stephanie Vaquer, she had the word of 2025 was aura, and she has a ton of aura, and
ton of It's got aura in the front or in the back.
Lord have mercy.
And it don't matter if you're deaf. You can hear that.
Yeah, so she has aura, and since she's been champion, especially on the main roster, she hasn't had much to do. Her feuds haven't really bled to anything. She had a feud with Nikki Bella, which nobody really cared about. She had the Queen, the Crown Jewel Championship thing with Tiffany Stratton, and other than that, she had a thing with Raquel, which was fine or whatever, because it was also interaction with Liv and the Judgment Day, which was fine. But this has been very well. One of my favorite locals, Vince Russo, his thing about Stephanie is like she can't speak English while she's champion. And
yeah, dude, why does anyone even listen to what he says, especially you?
No, I'm going somewhere with this. The integration of Dom in this, able to basically translate what's going on from Steph to Liv, has been fantastic, because she's actually able to be more herself in these situations. Like she said something to Liv Morgan, Dom translated, had Liv Morgan crying. In the ring where she slapped Dom. Dom has been an integral part of this entire thing to get the language barrier thing actually add into this story. So that part I'm really enjoying this, and I think Liv has done an excellent job in this as well. I thought this promo was actually great. I thought the segment of her picking her challenger was great. And my thing about Liv Morgan, for example, we talked about at the top of the show about the Michael Hayes, Chelsea Green thing. Liv Morgan is the definition of a workhorse. Liv Morgan might have one of my favorite stories in wrestling ever, as climbing
Top
up
to
the
bottom
ladder.
of her career. Yeah.
Yes, because nobody saw this coming from Liv Morgan. You know, she was the girl from Jersey on NXT, came in with the Riot Squad.
Job girl.
Essentially. And
I mean, who'd she ever beat in NXT?
exactly. Got called up to the main roster with Ruby Riott and Sarah Logan. Who knew that this was there? Like, she's been here since she was 20. That was what 10, 11 years ago. And nobody actually saw this actually coming. Now,
just for fun, 201 or whatever the area code was, she was rocking on her shirt. NXT girl wrestling in Jordans. If somebody would have told you she's one day gonna be on the main roster, and guess who she's gonna beat for her first women's championship?
yeah.
And if that, you'd be like, who? And you say, oh, it's gonna be Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful story.
Yeah,
It's one thing to know that, but like you just said, it is one of it's definitely a beautiful favorite, almost underrated at the moment.
Yeah, I'll one up you because she won Money in the Bank, so that was a cash in. Who would have thought she'd be a face of the division, being a headline, being the face of the division, all these beating Becky Lynch, Rhea Ripley, all these women, and now being the headliner for the women at WrestleMania. Nobody would have thought this at all. She's definitely my favorite, one of my favorite stories in wrestling ever.
I'm sure you've seen this stat, but it was just announced after obviously that Rhea won the Chamber. This is going to be the first time ever that one of the women's main championships is not going to feature one of the 4 horsewomen at Mania.
And I'm completely fine with that.
Oh yeah,
I am completely fine with that.
Going from 32 to now, or 10? It's a 10-year.
Yeah, 32. Yeah, I am completely fine with that because, as I've always said, like,
Scott evolved.
So this is my whole thing. So we've always talked about how great the Attitude Era was, but we have to remember the 2 prominent people of the Attitude Era, Stone Cold and The Rock. Their runs, Stone Cold was 96 to 2002, and he was at the top of the card from 97 to 2000 to 2002. And mind you, he missed a year. So that's 4 years. And Rock at the top of the card from 98 to 2002. Because after 2002, that he came back for that little bit in 2003, but he's not necessarily at the top of the card anymore. So those are only four-year runs pretty much each. These guys nowadays,
they're going 10 years.
They don't. Not granted. Stone Cold and The Rock, they're everybody goats, but they transition out of wrestling. A lot of these guys now, they don't really transition out of wrestling. You get Triple H syndrome when the top guys go, and you're still here. And it's like, all right, well, what can we do with you now? And then try to make it different. And like, there's so much you actually do, and it's like, all right, he's still here or whatever. The reason that we love Austin and Rock so much is because we got so much less time with them.
I said this on the show years ago, but one of my favorite things is that like 01, 02 Taker run when he started rocking the Decade of Domination shirt. Like, I remember as a kid, like, dang, this guy old as hell. He's been here doing this for 10 years. Now it's like, who hasn't? Unless they just came up from NXT in the past 3 years. Geez, all of them been there 10 years, if not more. And you got the freaking Miz. He's been knocking on 20 years.
Yeah. But the thing with the Miz is he's on TV less. The issue is these people are still prominent people on TV. Now, I want everybody to have a job. But the thing is, how many times can you push out the same thing? As great as these people are, it's hard for everybody to do it forever, to gravitate to be pushed the same thing forever. Now, like Triple H, Undertaker, for example, he changed his gimmick up a lot. Before it got tiring, And then as the time went on, he made his appearances sparingly. And WrestleMania was something to look forward to when it came to him. But a lot of time, like, they're pushing out the same thing. And it's like, all right, we got to get these guys. We got to get somebody new in here. But I said, Liv Morgan, one of my favorite wrestling stories ever.
Can't argue with that at all.
Speaking of get them the hell out of here. So Brock Lesnar, he announced a few weeks ago on Raw that he will have a mystery opponent at WrestleMania, essentially an open challenge. Now, we talked about WrestleMania ticket sales. Earlier, around that time, a few weeks ago, there was a report going around that LA Knight would be his opponent, and nobody wants to fucking see that.
I mean, it'd be a great win for LA.
Now, the rumor going around at the time was that Brock would force himself into Chamber by taking LA Knight's spot, which I'm not mad at from a storyline perspective, but we all know where that would actually end up going.
Do you remember when he made the Elimination Chamber a 7-man match?
Was it a 7-man match, or did he just take somebody out?
No, he just it starts with 2. I'm pretty sure. I think it was 2022.
The one where he beat Theory at the end.
Yeah, I think if I'm correct. Yeah, if I'm correct, he Bobby gets taken out, but he doesn't get replaced with Brock.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so he just came out, got in the cage, and said, ring the bell. And I'm like, what the fuck? All right, so now it's a 7-man.
Yeah. So we talked about ticket sales here. They put them on. They gave them discounted prices or whatever. But in my opinion, there are only 2 people you could have Brock face here:
Obafemi and Gunther.
There you go. There you go. Those are the only 2 that should be even in that ring with Brock Lesnar. Because
so then, not to cut you off, but what's very annoying to me is I guess with Obafemi, because he's new enough, he doesn't need a match per se, and you can get the surprise. Gunther, who last year at Mania was the World Heavyweight Champion going into it. He then wins the title again after losing it. He then retires Goldberg. He retires Cena. He just retires AJ. So he's not coming out as a surprise.
Well, this is the thing.
How's he not going to go into Mania having a match advertised?
So what I'm taking it as he'll accept the challenge
before
prior, because what I'm looking at is he's not doing anything. He's doing this thing with Dragon Lee, but we know that we're gonna wash that away. And he has nothing to do. And we know a few years ago, before Brock got caught up in the Vince scandal, that Brock and Gunther was discussed. And with the way the run Gunther has been on, getting rid of the old guard here, this spot is prime for Gunther to take on Brock Lesnar. In this situation, Brock Lesnar would be the babyface because Gunther has established himself as the biggest heel in the business.
Brock's with Paul again. He's not in division, but Paul comes out. Well, I don't know. I feel like that match happens at SummerSlam. Have you seen the Cena clip?
Cena clip? No.
There's a clip. It might have been with Chris Van Vliet, or it was when he was on Cody's show. They were, the topic of Brock comes up, and he's like, "Yeah, well, I think Brock's wrapping it up in Minneapolis." So I think SummerSlam's there. And obviously, who the hell else is going to wrap him up rather than Gunther at this rate?
Okay, I do remember that clip. That's from a while ago. Well, a few months ago after the Cena debacle. But yeah, I do remember seeing that. Now, what if maybe it'll be Gunther Brock too? Maybe. Which I wouldn't be mad about. But if you want to get my attention, give me Gunther and Brock.
I want Brock to job to Obafemi so he can get away from his stereotype.
Yeah. We know that's not going to happen, but I am all for Gunther and Brock. Like when
maybe the young OG answers the challenge.
Oh my God. That'd be fun though. I think Brock will get a good match out of him.
Brock
He'll get a good match out of Brock.
Brock will go Wardlow and give him an F10.
All right. So like I said, those are the only two answers. I got nothing else. And I know they better not disappoint me. There's only two options here. My number one is Gunther. The other two is the number two option is Obafemi. But the reason I want Gunther because Gunther I think will have to go over here.
Yeah, I want whoever is facing him to go over.
All right. So speaking of, let's see where we'll go next. We'll go to we talked about Paul Heyman, so we'll go here. So Seth Rollins, he made his return in the Elimination Chamber, and the next night on Raw, he gave everybody what they wanted and curb stomped Paul Heyman to hell. And during that promo, that segment, Adam Pearce noted that Seth Rollins isn't medically cleared to compete. And I thought that was the most interesting tidbit of that because we all know Braun Breaker also was injured during a few weeks ago on television. And I'm thinking this is going to lead to an unsanctioned match where both men are technically not medically cleared. What are your thoughts on that?
I love that idea. I could see them obviously just holding out till he's ready, but Steph obviously showed his face at Chamber. I do love the internet as much as they suck. They're good sometimes. I love them finding the callback that Logan cost Seth the Chamber a few years back.
Yep.
So Seth basically just did the same thing. I did like that, especially because I anticipate Logan and Austin going for the tag title soon. So I don't think we're going to be seeing a WrestleMania rematch of these two. Yeah, Braun and Seth is the only thing that really matters, the vision storyline wise.
Yeah, because granted, we all knew that Seth Rollins was going to do whatever it took to get ready for WrestleMania because Seth Rollins is a machine, and the whole thing.
One of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Absolutely, and the one thing about the Braun Breaker injury is we pretty much getting somewhat conflicting reports. Some people saying he'll be out for 6 to 8 months, and some people say he'll be ready for WrestleMania. But when he said that he wasn't medically cleared, my mind immediately went to unsanctioned Seth and Braun immediately, because somebody's going to have to avenge Paul Heyman, and I don't think at this point that we're looking at Theory or Logan Paul to be the ones that were going to avenge Paul Heyman at this point. And Bronson's also out as well.
One of Logan's smartest moves is he knows he's starting to get over a little bit, so he grew his hair out a little more douchey, so it makes him more of a heel.
All right. What do you think? Who do you think he's going to face? Are you agreeing with me about Braun?
Yeah, I anything else I don't think is going to be right.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. And the last thing we have to talk about is, and you want to hit on this, but I'll go to this. So Finn Balor, he lost his match against CM Punk for the heavyweight championship of the world at Elimination Chamber, and Dom lost his IC title to Penta. I know you have some thoughts on that.
Yeah. So starting off with Finn, I mean, I guess, like we said, I think this is the early stages of the imploding of the Judgment Day or it being rebranded. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't happen. Finn's first match against Punk, he came out with his old theme. It was out in Ireland. He's kept the theme since. He's been doing his old hand gestures, his poses, and he's also been going to the two sweet hands the past couple of weeks. Now he's also preaching doing the right thing, telling Dom he's got to win fair. So he's obviously turning face. So I guess Dom's gonna have to convince Finn's best friend JD to turn on him. Also shout out. Never been a big fan of him, but it is. I think I didn't really watch it live, but apparently Danhausen debut got a bunch of boos in Chicago. I do love It was a genius segment to do backstage. Adam Pearce was trying to get away from Danhausen, introduces him to Judgment Day. I love he disrespects JD. He says, "Hi Dom, hi Finn," and then when he tries to touch the IC title, Dom disrespects him, this and that, says we'll never get close to one of these. Danhausen cursed him.
Yes.
So Judgment Day falling apart. Penta getting his first singles title in years. Intercontinental Championship. Shout out to him. Shout out to IC title. And you get Danhausen. So there's like 3 storylines weaved into one. I loved it. I loved it so much.
Yeah. So with Dom losing the IC title, I do think this is the end of Finn Balor in the Judgment Day. You know, CM Punk was telling him, you got to get away from these guys. Liv Morgan was questioning him. But then Balor went straight heel on CM Punk. So it kind of gave us like, all right, what's going on? But now he's telling Dom, you got to win fair and clean. And like you said, we have to get JD to turn on Finn next. And with Finn losing the IC title, Dom losing the IC title, I was like, really? Like, you guys want to do that here? That's interesting because I said I do think Finn is going to turn babyface and become the demon. And I thought he would challenge Dom for the IC title because it'll be full circle. Because if you remember, Dom is the one who pinned Finn to win the IC title last year at WrestleMania.
The one thing I agree on all that. However, and as Finn was the IC champion 8 years ago, 7 years ago. I'd love him to be IC champion again. However, the next championship we all want to see him win is a world title. Dom's been so hot the past 2 years. If they're going to have a match at Mania, it doesn't need the championship. Probably more than a lot of whatever non-title matches are going to happen. I need to see Finn versus Dom more than I need to see Brock face anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
if Charlotte and Alexa are going to fall apart,
it's been growing.
Yeah, it's been something going for over a year. So, and then this way, the Intercontinental title can, this is elevating Penta, and then who knows? Penta might just have a few-week run with it. He could drop it to a heel who could later down the line drop it to babyface Finn. So I think this way they can include a lot more, like you said, you want everyone to have a job. This way a lot more wrestlers can get active in Mania season. So I'm not too upset by it. Not worth completely ignoring, and not that I'm sure this is not where he wants to go, but he can follow suit with his Bullet Club stablemate and join Kenny Omega. And what if he becomes a AAA mega champion?
That's not going to happen. Dom might actually lose that title. I know he has a defense coming up, and if he loses, he can't wrestle there again or something like that.
Well, then I'm really thinking he's not going to lose it because these stipulations, I don't know. The stipulations are always crazy. Yeah, you never know what to think of those. I don't think AAA loves him. I don't see him going away from that.
Yeah, I'm interested because, like I said, after I thought about be for the IC title, but then you talked about it and I spun around. I thought about it again. It was like, oh well, it doesn't necessarily need the IC title.
Mm-hmm.
It would just been fitting because it was the year prior, and that's who he beat. So it'd have been a great callback to do that, but it doesn't need it necessarily because Finn, he's been trying to get Liv out the Judgment Day in insert Roxy and things like that. So he has valid reason. Like Dom even has valid reason to turn on Finn as well, and the entire group because Finn is the longest lasting member of that group. At this point.
I'm probably gonna botch the years. But if after Kurt Angle was the world champion, if he was having singles matches at Mania against Edge and Kane, these guys can have a stellar non-title match for sure.
Yeah, and the story is there.
Yes,
the story is there because the rest of Judgment Day will get involved in this, I'm sure. but the story is definitely there for Finn Balor. And I do think we'll see the Demon at WrestleMania when he does face Dom, because the Demon has been mishandled a lot, and I don't think we've seen the Demon in it'll be 3 years, 23 when he faced Edge in Hell in a Cell.
Dang, time to be flying.
And the last time we saw the Demon. Anything else for me?
I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah, I think that is all too. So as always, guys, subscribe on all podcast platforms, like, thumbs up, turn your post notifications, anything for the algorithm. I'm Alo Aaron Lloyd. That's my guy, Act 2 Fly Eric Trembicky. We'll see you guys soon.
Got him now, put him down right now, hit him with the palm handle. Tuning up the band, y'all don't understand. Fist of Superman, it's a summer slam. Here we go again. Fans marking man, I hate my balls. Shut the Vince McMahon, it ain't safe to land off the cell. Fans love it, ain't hard to tell. Talking madness, awesome. Well, what I'm cooking, man, y'all off the smell.